Hi, I see that we have people joining here today for the small business workshop. We're just going to give people a couple minutes to get signed on and settled, and then we'll kick things off right at 10 a.m. We're going to give people just one more minute to get settled here. So just want to welcome you all, and we'll get rolling soon. Hi, everyone. We're right at 10 a.m., so we're going to get started here today. I am Maura Devlin. I am the VP of Marketing and PR here at 43North. I just want to thank everyone for joining our this next installment of our Small Business School. We're about halfway through the program here, and I hope to date that you've all really enjoyed and found these sessions useful. I'm particularly excited about today's topic, being in the marketing realm here, and I'm joined by two experts in the space. So I'm going to hand it over to them in a second, but I just wanted to mention a few things. We are recording these sessions. They'll be available online on the 43 North YouTube page following the workshop, and we'll also be sure to send these out via email. There'll also be a Q&A, and today we're going to answer the questions kind of as we go. So if you have questions that come up throughout, just feel free to drop them in the bottom Q&A box down there. We won't be looking at the chat feature, so ask your questions in the Q&A so we don't miss anything. And we'll be stopping every so often to address those. Another note is just that like I said, we're about halfway through the overall 43 North Small Business School, and we've just released the rest of the sessions that will run through the next couple weeks. So make sure you check that out at our website and register for those. The space is limited, so get into that today. I think you'll all really like the rest of the content that's to come. So I think that covers everything. So I would like to thank the supporting cast. Actually, they're really the stars of the show today that we have. We are joined here by Dion Jock of Pathstone, and also a partner on their team, Kenyana David. So I'm going to hand it over to both of them and just thank them for joining us today, and thank you in advance for this great content that we're about to see. We'll kick things off with Dion, if you want to just tell us a little bit about Pathstone. Oh, you're on mute, Dion.
Darn mute button. Thank you, Maura, and thank you so much for inviting Pathstone to collaborate with you on today's workshop. It's a real pleasure to be here. As Maura said, my name is Dion Jacques. I serve as Deputy Director for Pathstone Enterprise Center in New York. Pathstone Enterprise Center is a nonprofit community small business lender and support organization. Our technical term is a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. And what we do to support small businesses in Western New York is we offer small business loans from $5,000 to $250,000. If you're a startup, we'll lend you anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000. If you're an existing business, we will loan you up to $250,000. Along with our lending operations, we provide a robust pre and post loan technical assistance program. And we do that by offering programs, training programs, entrepreneurship development programs, mentorship, coaching, as well as intense, customized one-on-one technical assistance from experts like Kenyana David. Kenyana is one of our fabulous technical assistance providers, and she is the email marketing guru, and she's the one who's going to be taking you through this this content today. So Mara, thank you again for inviting us. I am thrilled to be here. And Kenyana, thank you for your time and sharing your expertise. I'm sure the people who are taking the workshop today will take a lot of good stuff away with them and start to begin to turn their email marketing efforts into some really profitable campaigns.
Thanks, Dion. So yeah, I'll hand it over to Kenyana, let her tell you a little bit about herself. She is a marketing coach, a founder, an entrepreneur herself. She's also a professor at Madai, so she can fill you in on that. I don't really know how she finds time to do it all. So Kenyana, thanks again, and take it away.
Thank you both. Thank you both so much. Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Dion, for the warm welcome. And happy Friday Eve to everybody. I am so excited to talk about email marketing. There is so much conversation about marketing, and email is one of the most profitable avenues to go through. So today we're going to talk about a path to profit. So let me go ahead and introduce myself. And tell you a little bit about me and how I do things. So I am the founder at 8118. 8118 is a boutique marketing firm in that it focuses on email marketing. That's all focused on and servicing women entrepreneurs. So the goal with everything having to do with 8118 and the Female Marketing for Entrepreneurs Academy is to teach female entrepreneurs how to make money with email marketing. And just to be clear that today, all the things that I'll be talking about is not exclusive to women entrepreneurs or business owners. Everybody can take what they need, leave what they don't, and use the information in the best way that fits for them. And I'll talk a little bit about why email marketing supports that. So with teaching female entrepreneurs how to make money with email marketing, I do it through an academy. And I do that with some master classes, some group coaching. I'm also an adjunct professor at Madai. I teach in the business management and leadership department. I teach marketing. And in the interdisciplinary studies department, I teach global leadership and critical thinking. I'm an Active Campaign agency partner. I absolutely love Active Campaign. However, all the things that I'll be talking about today, you can use with Active Campaign, you can use with MailChimp, you can use with any email service provider that you have. I'm also really into inbound marketing and sales, which just means marketing using content, bringing clients or customers in with content. So I am really focused, and you'll see it throughout the presentation, really focused on relational marketing. A lot of the strategies and best practices and things that I'll share are not transactional. So it's all about building relationships, serving to sell, and creating that path to profit based on those principles. So today I want to unpack what, why, and how. So we'll talk about email marketing, what it is really at the baseline, and then why it's a thing. You know, why is it profitable? And why is it profitable compared to other marketing options or strategies? And then I'll get into how you can start to build those relationships, how you can start those conversations, and how you can shift from just marketing what you do to selling what you offer. First things first, email marketing. So there's a lot of different definitions with email marketing. Some do a deeper dive than others, but at the baseline is sending commercial messages by way of email. Now, spam, and I want everyone to keep this in mind, spam is the same thing, but you're sending unsolicited commercial messages. So there's messages or emails that folks didn't ask for. And I want also for everyone to keep in mind that there are data privacy and compliance laws and regulations in place, international regulations in place to protect you and to protect the people that emails are being sent to. So a few that I'll cover. I won't go too deep into it because there are a lot of moving parts with it, but keep in mind there are three major laws and regulations. There's the GDPR, which you've probably heard or may have come across because it's the newest one, but that is the General Data Protection Regulation, and that's a European law. That's for the European Union and United Kingdom. However, it is geolocation, which means that it's not just for people that live in the European Union or the UK. You could be visiting Europe. You could be there visiting and sign up for someone's thing, checklist, a masterclass, whatever they have going on, and that law would protect you as well. So there's also the controlling the assault of non-solicited pornography and marketing, which is the CAN-SPAM. That is a Canadian law. And then you have the anti-spam regulation. So let me correct myself. With the CAN-SPAM, it's an anti-spam law. It's a little bit older, 2003. It's an American law. Please note, correction, that is an American law. So anyone in America living or visiting. And then with the Canada's anti-spam legislation, that is Canadian. Again, geolocation. I am going to share at the end my website with the /blog. You can read the specifics of this, of these different laws, but I want to just put them out there, call a thing a thing. There are regulations out there to make sure that we are not just adding people to our email list, sending them emails without their permission. There are different compliance things that we have to follow to be mindful of that. So I will share that blog post with everyone. But moving forward, I want to get into why email is, we know what it is, but what it really means. There was once upon a time a conversation that email was dead. I think arguably we all have received so many emails, especially during the months, almost a year of COVID, that we know that it's not dead, but what does it really look like? So there are 3.9 billion active users, and that was fewer than 2 years ago. This number is going to grow. According to statistics, that's half, if not more, of the population. But you have a lot of people using email. They are signed up to one or more email addresses, and that's how they like to communicate. And that's not to say that they don't like or they don't use other methods, but this is where they are. They are in their inboxes, and that could be Gmail, that could be Yahoo, that could be Outlook, it could be something else, but they are using email. And more importantly, 61% of those prefer for organizations, brands, companies to contact them through email. They are saying, I want to know about what you got going on. I want to know about your products. I want to know about your services. I want to know about your organization. I want to know about all the things, but I want to know about them by way of email. And that's really, really important. It's really powerful to know that 61%, so it doesn't really matter who your market is. It doesn't matter if your target market are women or children, teenagers, whoever it is, email is what they're using, and 61% of that is asking you, send me all the things by way of email. So you are given that in to know that's how I want to be contacted. So with email, there's return on investment, and let's talk about what that looks like too. So why is it important to know how many people are using email? Why is it important to know how they want to be communicated with? What that means. So because this is how many people are using it, this is how many people are saying they want to be contacted by email. Email has the highest return on investment, the highest return. So no matter how you're investing, and this could look like your email service provider, it could look like someone to write your emails for you, create the content. It might be a graphic designer, somebody that you find on Fiverr, or someone that you hire in-house. Whatever your investments are, it could be you. So you're thinking of not only money, but time. So time is money too. So if you charge X number of dollars an hour, you're added into this investment. And with this $42 an hour, $42 on every dollar spent, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of potential money. And the thing about this too, that's the average. Each industry has its own return on investment, but it's promising. So with email, one of the things that is really cool about it is you have an opportunity to not only reach all of these people, and with a lot of them saying, this is how I want to be reached, but you have an opportunity to personalize that reach. So you've received emails, for example, with your name that says, hey, so-and-so, how's your day? That's an opportunity that creates and encourages and facilitates that return on investment. And it's unlike, say, Instagram or Facebook or even LinkedIn, which all of those are, powerful marketing tools as well. But with email, you have an opportunity to reach that return on investment because the relationship is being built. With social media, and I have to be clear, I'm not saying you have to choose one or the other, because with your marketing plan, you have a little bit of all of the things that work for you, a little bit of all the things that make sense for you as a business owner, your personality, your style, also your business. So with email marketing, unlike social media, you can personalize that conversation. So you can reach out with a commercial message that's specific for someone. And this comes back again to the return on investment, because now there's a connection, there's a relationship being built. And when there's a relationship, you move through to a point where it's its own path to profit. So whatever monies you are spending monthly or quarterly or annually, there's that viewpoint that you can get that money back. And that looks really good at $42 for every dollar spent. So let's move into how that relationship starts. So you can offer one of three things to get someone's email address. And that's not to say you can't just ask for it. You can just say, hey, are you interested in joining my email list? Every so-and-so days or weeks or however often, whatever your regular is, I send out some tips, some tricks, some must-knows, whatever you're sending out, you can just ask for it. But you also can offer something. There could be an exchange in the beginning. And lead magnets, opt-ins, and content upgrades are those three categories, and we'll unpack them now. So with lead magnets, I like to think of them as crowd pleasers in a sense of they're generally enjoyed by your market. They are magnets for the people that are interested in what you do. Now, typically, you'd extend them to first-time visitors of your website, first-time visitors of your social media, and they are pretty high level in that they're relevant to the majority. So they're not super, super specific, but it might be something like a discount code to your shop. You might have a 3, 5, 10, 30-day challenge. You may have a quiz, and they can get an abbreviated result after the quiz, but they can get an in-depth, deep dive results through email. So it'll be an exchange. Here is this thing. I'll send it to you if you give me your email. So with lead magnets, you see them a lot, and they're pretty popular. Opt-ins, I think of those as more opportunities for your market to get in on something that you got. So someone visiting your site, say today, may take advantage of a lead magnet. They're new to you, they're interested in your website, they're interested in you, they're interested in the problem or the solution that they think that you may offer to the problem that they have, however big or small, right? They may get the lead magnet, and then they say, you know what, I want to check out the blog and see if it's been updated. I want to see if there's some new post. So they go back to the website and they, oh, there's something, there's another opportunity. And this would be for returning visitors. Now, that's not to say that someone new wouldn't be interested or attracted to it, but generally returning to keep them, and you'd add them to maybe a different list, or you tag them within a list, but it's kind of the filtering out to see what they're interested in. So someone can get your lead magnet, your opt-in, and maybe even a content upgrade that we're going to get into, and you have them in different sections. But typically for opt-in, returning, visitors or followers are the most interested, and they're still relevant to the majority. And you'd see this as like a trial period if you have a membership. So, or access to something. You may offer a 7-day, a 14-day, a 30-day trial. You may give a sample if you have a book or an ebook, say, for example, you might give the first chapter. It's an opportunity for them to get a taste of what you have. Or maybe a webinar. If you are doing some lead generation for something that you're launching and you're having, a free webinar where you're going to share some content, you're going to share some knowledge, and you want to give people opportunity, but you also need some email addresses. These are some examples, and this is not at all exhaustive list. This is some ideas. Now, my absolute favorite are content upgrades. Just one moment. Let me just, okay, I thought a message was coming through the chat. So content upgrades are my absolute favorite because they are easy. So if you are new to email marketing, or your capacity has changed a little bit where you may not be able to do all the things that you heard about, sequences and journeys, and you are stumped of what to send on a consistent basis, content upgrades are awesome because more than likely you already have content, and this is just added value. They are bonuses, they are pluses to things that, one, you've already created, And the folks that are the most interested in, they've already heard, your podcast or read your blog or seen your presentation or your webinar. They are already interested and they want more. And these are people that I consider the warmest of them all because they are familiar. They want more. They are further along in that path to profit, that serve to sell. And when they come into your email list, not only do you have something to send to them, and it's something that you can continuously send to them, but they are already interested and you may already be solving a problem that they have. Your blog post may have helped them move along that buyer journey when they were aware sort of that they had a problem, but you helped them really understand the problem and you're moving them along. So these people are the most mobile, would be the best way for me to describe them. Um, but they create an opportunity for you too to not worry and stress about what to send them. So if you are creating a worksheet or something of that nature for a blog post, you know that every blog post, once somebody signs up, you can send an email. If you blog weekly, you blog bi-weekly, you can send an email to them that says, here's the new post, here's the upgrade for it. I know you're going to love it. And you can reasonably expect that they're going to open those emails and they're going to click through the different links or offers or whatever you have going on. So I really, really love content upgrades, and they are the easiest to do because you're already doing things. You're already creating some things that you can add some value to, that you can create a plus for. And these typically appeal to people that already are familiar with you. And they're relevant to those people. So it's, if someone isn't familiar with your blog, for example, then they might not have the same appreciation for the checklist. However, with that minority, you don't need a lot of people to make money with email marketing. I want to put that out there too. Like, you don't need a list of 4 or 5 figure subscribers to make money with email marketing. You can make money with email marketing really with 1 subscriber. Now, how much you make is totally subjective. It depends on what you're offering, how much it is. Is it a one-time purchase? Is it a continual? Like, it's totally subjective. But when it comes to the path to profit for email, focusing on sending the emails, getting them to open them, getting them to click through to your offer so they can, pay for your service, buy your product, but you don't need a lot of people to do that. That is a misconception I've heard. I need a big email list, or I need, a whole bunch of people. If they are not all opening your emails, or they're not all clicking through, or they're not all buying things, then it's not a profitable list anyway. So here are some examples, transcripts. So right now, with content creation, we are definitely in a space of accessibility, keeping accessibility in mind, especially now with COVID. Everyone is kind of forced online. And when they're forced online, their learning style just might not be visual or audio. Me, for example, I'm not a visual or audio learner. So I look for transcripts, and those are kind of that added value that sometimes is not, thought about too much. And you can use a transcription if you have a podcast, or even, just offering, show notes, different abbreviated things, but transcripts are great added value. Worksheets where people can work through their problem, flesh out their thoughts. Worksheets allow for that, and templates. Sometimes those are just easier as well. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I can check this without interrupting the screen. Mara, if you are sending me something, feel free to interrupt me at any point. I don't know what all is being shared.
No,
So,
it might just be, there was just a chat and there was a comment that this is great. So that might be the interruption that you're getting. And the only question that came through, Kenyana, at this point, and it might come up later or you can hold however you want to handle, but just someone was wondering what services, what's the best platform to use to send emails. And I don't know if you'll talk about any specific tools or, a start to a spot where you can actually get a list as well.
okay, so that's not in here, but let's talk about all the things, right? So, with platforms, here's the thing, there is no one platform better than the other. And I say that because it's based on what you need. So there are some staple things that you need to look for. That would be personalization. Does it have merge tags? Which all of them now, they're competing with each other. They have a lot of the same things. Look beyond the price. Most of the pricing competitive is roughly about the same, give or take. But look beyond the price and make sure it has what you need. Automation is huge. You need to be able to draft an email on Monday and queue it to send out on Wednesday. If you do have the capacity to create email journeys and sequences, or you hire somebody to do it, having those emails automated, um, being able to have built-in templates if graphic design is not your jam, having those built-in templates, and most do. So it really doesn't matter which platform you use. I prefer Active Campaign, but I prefer Active Campaign because Active Campaign allows me to grow into its different features. So it has a CRM component, a customer relation management piece. I am not yet using it. I use a different platform, but I know that I can grow into it and I don't have to swap out. But you might not need that. And then also the ones that we think are like elementary, like MailChimp, that's not true. MailChimp is constantly upgrading and um, adding in components to, one, stay competitive, and then two, to super serve their audience. It's totally up to you which one you use. There are some that you'll hear about more. The only thing that I would really, really, really advise is when you go onto the site, skip the pricing. When you click on it, it's going to tell you all the features. And of course, it may have some benefits of email marketing, but look at what the offering is. If you have goals of getting your list to 5,000, so while you don't need a big list to make money, more is more. That's the thing. The more subscribers you have, the more buyers on that list you have. Now you have to be very diligent in making sure that your list is healthy and that you have a group of people that want what you have to offer. But if you have a goal of 5,000, you want to make sure that they can handle that. So with MailChimp, they have at one, I think for free, 2,000, but it's one list. Do you need more than one list? So I would, how many lists you need, and then 2,000 for free, but you can do this and you can't do that. And then if you pay, it's 500. So then you have this cost, but these, fewer benefits or more benefits or features, write down before you even research, what do you need to happen? What are you a super at and what are you not? And then when you're shopping around, you can make the best decision for your business based on where you are and if it'll allow you to grow to the next step. So the next step is always subjective for everybody, right? So for you to grow your list, does it offer that space for you to grow the list? So that's the first thing. And Maura, I know I got excited. I know you mentioned platforms, but what was the second piece of that question?
I think the other part was about, and actually I had read it wrong, but somebody had asked about, if they have a list, what's the best platform? So I think you answered that. Another question was about where to get, where you can actually get emails, if you're not getting them from your customer base, are there other places to get them to buy lists?
Oh yeah. So let me say this. Do not buy a list. Do not rent a list. Do not rush the process. Organic is always best. And the reason I say that, it's a slower process. I respect that and I acknowledge that. However, with these data privacy and anti spam and compliance, things that you have to worry about, when you get a list from someone, say an organization has a list of people that seem like ideal buyers to you. When you get that list, here's the weirdness of it. You don't know them, they don't know you. You are essentially cold calling, right? We all know how weird that can be. You don't know, really, you're taking a chance. You don't know if they want to hear from you, and you definitely do not want to be in a position where they report you, because there's fines and they are pretty hefty. You don't want to be in that position. And then you don't want to get off on the wrong foot with a potential buyer. You didn't give me your information, but I'm going to email you anyway. And you're going to think I'm great and we're going to be friends. That's weird. Let's just be honest. It's weird. And when creating your own list, even if it's a slower process, you know that they want what you have. They are interested. They want to know, the content that you're offering, whether it may be free, or paid, but they want to know about it. They have a problem and they're reaching out to you for help. They are saying, I have this problem. I believe that you can help me based on that checklist that you offered or that webinar that you gave or that template you offered me. I really believe that you can help me solve my problem, and I want to get to know you better. I want to get to know how else you can help me. And those relationships are always healthier and they're longer lasting. So you don't, with buying lists and renting lists, outside of the weirdness of it all, it's not a genuine relationship. And if you buy a list of 5,000 and five people actually click on it, or they reach out to you or they say something, is it still worth it when you could ask people? You can ask, you do an event, or you meet someone at a networking, whatever that looks like, and you say, hey, you know what, I think I could help you. I have this thing, and what you're talking about, I really think I can help you. If you join my list, I'll send you some stuff. And they join, and it can be that easy. But fast is not always the best way. And you have to also keep in mind that even though the opportunity is there for that return on investment, you have to keep in mind that you'll be investing more and more and more sometimes when you don't have to. So you buy this list, so that's part of the investment. But if you don't make any money from it, it's not really a win. And you've probably had to pay more money to your email service provider because now you have a list of 5,000. And then when it's time to clean that list up, that could be a challenge too, because then you really see what it looks like to buy a list. I always recommend do it organically, do it authentically, and build a list, and it will grow. It may seem slow to you, it may not. You can have a webinar and get 50 people on the list by sharing it on LinkedIn or sharing it on Instagram. Or you may feel that it's slow, but it's yours, and you know that it's good, you know that it's healthy, and you know that these are um, relationships that are real. So I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it doesn't or it garnered another question. But I want to share with you how you can build that relationship once somebody does say that they want that thing you're offering. There are two emails to send. Although creating journeys that have like 7, 9 emails and automating it, that's a win. Like that's a great thing. And when you have the capacity to create it yourself or get someone to create it, definitely do it. It allows you, one, to do that serve to sell, but it also allows you to have conversations that are helpful, that are impactful, that add value when you're not there to necessarily do it yourself. So you can be sleeping and somebody signs up and they're entered into a journey, that kind of thing. But until then, or also with it, creating two different emails, and it builds on that know, like, trust factor. It builds the relationship from the gate. So the welcome email, you send it straight away. It's automated. It's with whatever you promised. It'll have a bit of an introduction of who you are, maybe a little blur about your business. You want to keep it to fewer than 100 words. Like you're not going to ramble. You're just going to say, thank you. I acknowledge and appreciate that you signed up for my list. Here's that thing I promised. By the way, I'm so and so, and this is what I do. That welcome email is so important. It's the most opened email. It helps with your deliverability. It helps with your open rates. It helps with your click-through rates because whatever that link that you offer them to the thing that you promised is in there. And it's really a good start to, they know who you are. They like the fact that you initiate a conversation, you kept your promise, and they can trust you. And depending on how you introduced yourself, depending on your groove with your business, that is a building of a relationship so they can like you as a person. The next email is what I call the trifecta email, in that it serves three purposes. It one lets their email provider, say Gmail, know, hey, this person, they might be friends. And then that helps build that know, like, trust. But the email that follows up says, I'm a real person.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were hearing class.
I'm a real person. I remember that you asked for this checklist or a link to this webinar or this thing. And I want to make sure I'm circling back and making sure that you got it. So that's a really unique opportunity to build on that relationship. I do encourage, and it doesn't have to be long. Again, fewer than 100 words. I think mine reads, I'm circling back. You know, you can use their name in there. You might reintroduce yourself. You might say, you know what? I just thought of something. I wrote a blog post. I think you might like that too. You know, and just build that relationship with just those two emails. And then you start sending out your other emails. And here are a few that you can send if you are not yet sending them, or you're stumped, or you're just want to add to the emails that you sent. So every day on autopilot, you can send out the welcome email. Whenever somebody buys something from you, whenever somebody signs up for something, they get that welcome email. It happens every single time. It needs to be the exact same experience for everybody. But you know, a couple times a week, you can send content notifications. So if you have a podcast, or you have a blog, or you do a workshop or a live stream inside your Facebook group, let folks know. You know that these people are already interested, who's on your list, already interested in what you have going on. Tell them all the things. Don't leave anything out, you know. And you can do it a couple times a week, or you may just do kind of like a roundup. You know, these are the dates, here are the links. Every week you can send a download or, upgrade, that content upgrade. If you blog regularly or you create some other content regularly, send out that email and say, here, I thought you might like this. There's, um, setting them up for success with that unexpected every week. And keep in mind, there's a difference between marketing and selling. So while I specifically focus on making money with email, you cannot sell without marketing. But marketing isn't selling. Marketing is telling them about the things, telling them about your business, telling them about um, the solution that your product or your service could solve for them. Marketing, thinking of it very, um, I like to think of email as talking to friends, right? So when you talk to a friend, you're not always like, come to my house, or let's go out. It's like, how are you feeling? What's going on? Let me tell you about this. It's the same thing with marketing. You're talking about the things that they think are important and that that you share in common, but you're not hard selling them. Now, with selling emails, selling is giving them an opportunity to buy the thing that can help them even more. So it's not, you can sell without being aggressive in email. You can sell without it being transactional, where it's spammy in the headline, where buy now, or, something that sounds transactional. You can say, we've been talking about this problem that you have, and, I've shared some tips and some tricks, but you know what? I have this service. It's, you can talk about the benefits of it and say, I really think it'll help you. I really think that it can get you where you're trying to go. And then you can just sell it, but there's a difference between talking about what you do and maybe how you do it, and giving them the opportunity to pay for it. Let me know if you have any questions in the way that I'm separating marketing and selling. But with your emails, your regular emails, they're leaning more toward marketing. Marketing your knowledge of the problem that exists, the solutions that are available, and then, regularly subjective, giving them an opportunity to buy when you think that they're ready. And honestly, it's not a rocket science to email marketing. If you think about it in a sense of talking to a friend, you're talking to, this is a better example. You're talking to a friend about a problem that they have, and you go through the whole thing. You go back and forth as to what the problem looks like, what the problem feels like, the irritation of it all. And then you may say, you know what, there's a store in the mall that has this thing. I really think it can help you. Here's the name of the store, or here's a link to Amazon, and you go from there. It's the same thing with email marketing. It's coming from a standpoint, or avoiding the standpoint of like a hustle, just sharing information and you being the expert that know how to fix the problem. So there's the weekly. And then bi-weekly, you can send some content that you just create exclusively for your whole list or some of your list, depending on where they are in the journey. If they are at that point where they're really ready to buy, you might talk about more of the features. If they're not yet there, they're in that, they're figuring it out. You might have more of the benefits, but you can send exclusive content, a couple times a month. You can send a newsletter that markets and sells, in a sense of, you can talk about some solutions to a problem, and then you can have some things in your shop, also within the newsletter. And then every quarter, do a survey. Get some feedback on if the information is helpful, if you are sending too many, too few, if it's something that people are enjoying so that you can pivot to profit. You may need to send more emails. You may need to send fewer emails. You may need to send different content. You want to always be positioned to profit. And with polls and surveys, it gives you that competitive advantage. Um, competitive, even competing within yourself to profit more from the last quarter or the last year, or however you're looking at your numbers. But that feedback is so important. And I know sometimes we're a little afraid to hear, what if somebody doesn't like it. That's a thing, it happens, but you need to know that more people like it than not. And then periodically just say, hey, thanks, I appreciate you being on my list. Now you can send that to everybody. You can send that to the folks that open up the emails the most, but acknowledging and appreciating that they're there, because we're all inundated with email. We're all getting subscribed to a whole bunch of things, and every now and again saying, you know what, I see you here. And the fact that you can use a merge tag and say, we'll use Dion for example. Hey Dion, I noticed that you've been on my list, and there's merge tags that'll tell you when they subscribed. You depend on how detailed you want to be, but you can say, I know you've been subscribed to my email list since December 18th of 2018. I really appreciate that. Thanks. And that can go a long way too. And then every 6 months or so, let them know if your privacy policies update. Keep them aware so that they have the option to say, you know what, I actually don't want you collecting more information from me, or I'm cool with that. But checking in, and then every year, clean your list. You should do it more than once a year, but clean your list. It's okay to have unsubscribes. It's okay to remove people from your list. And not even from an investment standpoint, but if you may have solved the problem that they have. Some problems are timely. So if you are a divorce attorney, at some point, that's no longer a conversation. It's no longer a problem that they have. They have used, the information that you provided. They've, paid for your service, bought your product, whatever it is that your offering is, and they no longer need help. So they don't open your emails. Taking them off the list is fair. And there's different reasons that people, need to come off the list, but it's okay to do that. And the more you do it and you have a healthier list of people that want your emails, that want to be a part of all the things, the more money you actually make. So I'm completely open and transparent to answer all the questions. But while you think of the questions or while they're being put together, I do want to share a few things with you. I would love to connect with any or all of you on LinkedIn. And with my website, you can go there. You also can check out the Academy if you are interested, or just shoot me an email if you think of something at a later time. I am active, but I am available. I'm accessible. I like talking about these things over and over and over again. And whatever you choose with your email, whether you choose to offer opt-in or lead magnet, or you do not have to do them all. You do what's in your capacity. That was a random afterthought, but I wanted to let you know. And these are all the ways that you can get in contact.
So there are a couple questions here. We'll try to get to as many as we can. I know, Kenyana, you have a hard stop, so I'll be mindful of time. The first question here is, do some of the email software programs have ways to do surveys or polls built right into them? Or is a different program like SurveyMonkey needed?
Some of them do have templates. You'd have to kind of go through. I don't know which ones, but some of them have templates. If they don't have a template, say you're already using one and it doesn't have a template, don't worry your head. You can use like Google Forms and just send, make the link available to everybody, and do it that way. That might or could possibly be easier because you can see them as they come in right in your email, and you can use it that way. SurveyMonkey is an option as well. Some websites like Squarespace, I know you can build a survey right into there. Or you know what? You don't even have to do anything fancy. You can write the questions right in the email. If it's not a lengthy, say like you have 3 questions because you just want to know if something is helpful, if it's valuable, and if it's impactful. You could just have 3 questions. Do I send emails enough? Are the email helpful to you? And let's see, a third question could be, would you like to get more emails on maybe something new that you have coming up? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just want some feedback to know that your efforts are good, for not only you and your business, but for the people that you are talking to.
Another question, you talked in the beginning about, leveraging templates and digital downloads as a way to generate leads. What services can be used for those? Or are some of those built into tools like MailChimp, for example?
So for those in particular, like lead magnets and opt-ins and content upgrades, they are not built in. However, you can use Canva. Canva has amazing templates that you can download right into a PDF. You can use like Creative Market. Creative Market is where you can buy templates, and you can use them, I think, with Photoshop. You can use them with Canva and maybe some other software. But you don't have to overthink. So with the templates, they are really for them, not you. So if you wanted to create something in Microsoft Word, and we're not worried about the aesthetics piece at the moment. If you just want to create something in Microsoft Word, like, some questions that will help them think through the next step, or to understand the severity of the problem and the importance of solving it sooner rather than later with a half dozen questions, you can do that right in Microsoft Word, write out the questions with some space, maybe add some lines, and save it as a PDF. So while there are, different opportunities with Canva to make it aesthetically appealing and pleasing, the goal is to help them, to super serve them. And you can do that with things that you already have. Canva has a free and a paid version. I think for the most part, other than like maybe transparency and being able to save your color codes, you get good value for the free option, and you can type in the search checklist, and you choose one that you like, and you fill it in with your content. But the email service provider itself, typically they don't have those types of templates. They have more templates for the email, how you want the email to look when it goes out.
So I think we have, just being mindful of timing, maybe just one more question. And so the last one here, would you recommend against doing this on your own versus using a service, that like a MailChimp? This person said expenses can rack up quickly for a small business. So as a way to maybe save money, could they just do this manually?
So yes and no. So yes, you can email market on your own. I would not send them from your Gmail. So you do not have to get a graphic designer. You don't have to get a copywriter. You don't have to get a virtual assistant to automate them. You don't have to do all those things. But paying for email service provider allows you a lot of different benefits. One, the email is coming from what appears to be you, but it's the email service provider, the way it's set up, especially with automation, you can have a list of 10, a list of 1,000, a list of 10,000. You're not manually doing it. Honestly, if you manually did it, it would be a heavier lift than if you just, pay for MailChimp, or another option. You pay for that and just, wrote the emails in there. They have their own templates. Um, they're set up for automation so they can send it out for you. They also can keep up with who's opening your emails, who's clicking through. Some of them will even keep up with who's buying and let you know this month, this is how much money you made. And that's really important when you are tracking your conversion rates, how your emails are converting. So I wouldn't man the task of sending emails manually to 100 people, like copying and pasting, the names. Like, if you don't do that. Just get a provider that's within reason, within budget, for you, and go about it that way. You can do that on your own. And for those who are thinking of hiring a graphic designer or a virtual assistant, do the first few email campaigns, and that's just the packaging of the email going out. Do a few on your own so that, one, you know how to do it. You're not completely relying on someone else's expertise. If you are put in a jam, they take vacation, they take the day off, they quit, whatever that looks like. So knowing how to do it on your own, but I would not manually email. And then you also don't have a way to capture the emails the same way if you're manually doing it. Don't do that. It's going to stress you out, honestly.
So we're a minute over, Kenyana.
That's okay. Are there a lot more questions?
There are just a couple more. One of them was, how can you end up driving traffic to your website to get emails?
So that's when having a full marketing plan that has all the things like social media, sharing your list on social media, sharing your list, how we put our logo on things that we give out, the link to sign up, having using other marketing to market email is a helpful way to do it. So definitely share whatever it is that you have in Instagram. You can put it right in the link. So you can put it, if you have like Linktree, or you can just put the link to your download right there so people can click in, and all your posts, just, link in bio. You also can, on Facebook, they have the call to action button. You can have it go directly to the way to opt in. You can share it in your email. You know what? Share it in your email, because you think about all the emails that you send out as a business. In the signature, you can put, need a checklist to do this. Here you go. And they can click on that link and download the checklist. So however you are already sharing your business and your products, your offerings, your things of that nature, share your email.
Well, Kenyana, thank you so much for all this great information, and thank you for sharing these additional ways that people can get in touch with you. That's really all the time that we have today. I encourage everybody to join on Tuesday, where the topic will be all about reigniting your business, and we'll be joined by some experts from M&T Bank. So you can find those at the 43 North website under events. And again, thank you so much, Kenyana, and to everyone else, have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all. I am so sorry about the hard stop, but any questions that you have now that we didn't get to, or you want, send them to my email. I will answer them today or whenever you send them. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Nora.
Thanks a lot.